Hello, I'm Leanne Gerrans. Welcome to a W News special interview on العربية English. Israel has officially recognized Somaliland, a self-declared republic on the Horn of Africa, raising tensions across the region. The move has been condemned by the African Union, Egypt, Sudan and Saudi Arabia as a dangerous precedent. In a series of posts on X, the government of Somaliland addressed the claims and clarified its diplomatic stance with Israel. The government of the Republic of Somaliland said it firmly rejects false claims made by the president of Somalia, alleging the resettlement of Palestinians or the establishment of military bases in Somaliland. Somaliland's engagement with the State of Israel is purely diplomatic, conducted in full respect of international law and mutual sovereign interests of both countries. These baseless allegations are intended to mislead the international community and undermine Somaliland's diplomatic progress. Somaliland remains committed to regional stability and peaceful international cooperation. For more on this, I'm joined from Mogadishu by the President of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. President. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. First of all, I just want to begin with, what do you make of the government of Somaliland's comments that I just put to you?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And I would like to make one thing very clear. The so-called Somaliland is a northwestern region of Somalia, and it is one of the 18 regions of Somalia. So it's the northern regions of Somalia, and they claim it that they secede from Somalia. We have been dealing with them for the last more than 3 decades now. We've been trying to make the unity again through a peaceful means. But unfortunately, now they overstep it and they cross the red line, which is breaking the international law, the national laws, of course. This is a very serious matter in terms of our national security and in terms of our unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, so that the people of Somalia, under the leadership of the federal government of Somalia, has rejected and refused it and denounced it, that the deal between Israel and Somaliland is a valid one or has any legitimate base at all.
And what are Israel's motives behind this decision to recognize Somaliland?
Well, the leadership of Somaliland has taken the Somaliland people or the northern regions people into the extreme by advocating and by calculating in their mind that they are going to separate from Somalia, they are going to become an independent state. So under the leadership of some extremist elements that, or I say ultra-nationalists locally are there, and they have taken the people to the corner that they seek recognition all over the world. No country has recognized that part of Somalia as an independent state for the last 34 years. Now Israel, who is also another desperate and mostly unrecognized state in the global arena, has come and joined with them by pursuing their geopolitical interests in the region of the Horn of Africa. That is the main reason why Somaliland went to Israel and why Israel has accepted and embraced the claim of Somaliland.
What political interests do they have, Israel, right there in Somaliland, in your opinion?
It's not my opinion, it's a fact, and it has been clarified by so many sources that Israel has 3 objectives in Somaliland. One is to have a military base there, just to get closer to the Arabian Gulf and the Red Sea, a very strategic waterway for the international trade and the security of the Gulf region at all. And the second is that Somaliland will accept and accommodate the relocation of Palestinians, those who are with, those who believe maybe Israel, or Israel has been forcefully taken their homeland and bring them there in Somalia, in that part of Somalia, Somaliland. The third reason is the leadership of Somaliland has agreed and accepted that they will join the Abraham Accord. These are the three main objectives of Israel that has in Somaliland, and there is only one objective that Somaliland leadership has, which is a recognition from Israel.
So you said there that one of the reasons that Israel has done this is in order to move Palestinians to Somaliland. What do you think the international community is going to do if that does happen?
Well, first of all, Somalia do not accept that at all, because it is very illegitimate, forcefully relocating people from a country that they do not belong. There is no historical precedency that the Palestinian people has in Somalia, so there is no way that Somalia can accept that, number one. Number two is the Palestinian people, they don't want to go any place other than their homeland, which is Palestine, and they are there unless they are forcefully kidnapped and taken away and put them somewhere that they do not want. We are not neighbor to Palestine. We are not close to Palestine. Palestinians cannot reach Somalia easily as a refugee, and they never did that, except a few families. But it's Israel that wants forcefully to, you know, Israel has killed close to 70,000 people in Palestine just to make a massive displacement for the Palestinian people so that the land will remain Israel. And that was not successful. Now they are creating that, taking some Palestinians to some other parts of the world and creating life for them there, maybe trying to persuade other Palestinians to join in the future. So this is the dream, but this is a dream that will never become true.
And Mr. President, were you taken by surprise when Israel actually became the first country to officially recognise Somaliland as an independent state?
Well, we have been watching, and we have the sources of information that Israel might be trying to come, and you know Israel has been moving around claiming that they cannot defend Israel, an enemy which is 2,000 kilometers away from Israel, so we need to get closer to the Arabian Gulf so that we can defend our country from there. So that was there, that history was there. And then the area that was possible for that was any place other than Somalia. Sometimes other countries were be in the picture, but now it become reality. So the rumor that Israel is going to move out of Israel and reach some place in the Red Sea zone and the Arabian Gulf and the Horn of Africa has always been there. But since we have no relationship with Israel, since we are not friends with Israel, we were not expecting that they will do that. But it happened now, and we just get the reality days before the decision has been made.
What pushed Somaliland to seek the help of Israel at this stage? Why did they do this?
Well, as I said to you, for 3 decades, no country has recognized Somaliland. So they just went there for desperation of recognition. We have, yes, they claim that the former military regime of Somalia has massacred some people in Somaliland, and they need an apology. We did the apology. We have approached it. We have a number of reconciliation or dialogue meetings in different parts of the world, in Africa, in Europe, in Asia. And we keep, as a Somalia, the Somali government believed that the only means to reunite the country was a peaceful means through dialogue, through acceptance of each other. unfortunately, when extremists lead the people, such actions can come. That is the main reason now.
So you just said to me that you're looking for peaceful dialogue and you've been trying to make unity with peaceful means. Would you rule out using force if this impacts Somalia's security?
Maybe, but you know, Somalia has a very serious problem with the extremist groups, and we know the meaning of violence, we know the meaning of destruction. So that was what makes us not to prefer to use force and violence in order to reach understanding each other. So our preference was to have that dialogue, and we had a number of dialogue sessions in the past, particularly 10 years in different parts of the world. So we believe that will be coming. But unfortunately, another desperation that the Somaliland leadership has compelled to take such extreme pressure was Somaliland was becoming now, after 30 years, was not becoming a viable project. So the people of Somaliland has been rejecting the secessionism and the separatism. Already some regions have already left Somaliland and they accepted the unity. Others are now claiming that they will accept the unity. So this minority extreme group leadership, not the people, the leadership, was so desperate that they're seeing that things are falling apart, and now they go into that very, very dangerous trajectory. But the Somaliland people have also rejected this step, and the majority of the Somaliland people are seeking the unity. Northeastern region is left Somaliland. Now others are also claiming that they are going to leave. So Somaliland has proven to be a non-viable project. That is what makes them desperate and take extreme steps towards the wrong direction.
It's really interesting because after Israel did recognize Somaliland, there were celebrations on the streets in Somaliland when that happened. And do you think that is just a small minority of people who were celebrating that? Or do you think that there is wider support than you might expect?
No, that's not the case. The celebrations took place in some parts of Hargeisa, not in other parts of the Somaliland or ex-British territory of Somaliland. In many places there were strong and powerful demonstrations of rejection at all. So it is misleading that the world thinks that there was a lot of support. No. In the city of Hargeisa, it's true that the largest city in Somaliland is Hargeisa. Parts of Hargeisa has been, and there are now voices that are arising within Somaliland that refusing other parties, other cities in Porama of Wa'oضح region, in northeastern region, in other parts of even within the northwestern region of Somaliland. There are voices, demonstrations that reject the case of Israel.
So in your opinion, the protests and the happiness that happened afterwards were not so widespread. But, you know, we've just been speaking about Somalia, and is the recognition of Somaliland by Israel now a direct threat to Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity? What does this mean for the country, which has, as you said, had many years of fighting?
Well, absolutely. It is a threat, and it is a national security threat. And Somalia will do everything that makes that threat lifted and make the unity of the country back. Absolutely, our approach has been peacefully, and we continue to prefer the dialogue, the peaceful means of the reunification of the country. But if you say, is it a threat? Yes, it is a serious, serious threat, the biggest threat that Somalia has faced in the recent times. I can say even with the terrorist war, this is more serious than the war against the terror even.
And I just want to talk to you a little about the US President, Donald Trump, because he has called Somali migrants garbage, and that was during a cabinet meeting, and said he doesn't want them in America. What do you make of Donald Trump's comments?
Well, America is another country, and America is also a country that received a lot of different people all over the world. Somalis were among those who seek there. I believe that those Somalis who are there legitimately will remain there legitimately, but those who have lost or didn't succeed to get a legitimate resettlement or there in the United States, that is the decision belongs to the legal aspect of the United States. But we hope that those people will have fair justice for the system within the United States government.
But what do you make of him calling your people garbage? Surely that must be something that you don't agree with.
I do not agree, and that's not acceptable at all. But you know, President Trump has called Africa a shithole sometime. So, but completely I disagree, and that is not acceptable to our norms and our culture and our behavior. No one is garbage. It is a human. And I believe Somalis are very smart, intelligent people who are hardworking, very honest and decent people are the Somalis. So they cannot be described as a garbage. I think maybe that's a misplaced word or comment.
And let's just move on a little bit to talk about domestic politics. You've lost territory to al-Shabaab in recent months, and critics say your government doesn't have a clear strategy to defeat them. What are you doing to keep the people of Somalia safe right now?
Well, that is not the case. In reality, you know, we have liberated a lot of territory from al-Shabaab. My government came into the office in 2022 when no place was safe in Somalia and no territory was liberated except a few areas in some parts of the central Somalia. Now, in 2023, you know, this country is a country that has so many challenges. In 2023, we liberated a lot of territory in the central and in two states of the three states that al-Shabaab was occupying. And yes, in a war, sometimes you lost some battlefields and you gain or win some battlefields. Yes, that's true. We lost some battlefields, we lost some territories, but in 2025 we regained those, but that we lost those territories in 2024, and in 2025 we regained most of those territories, and then we keep continuing. As I'm speaking to you now, war is going on in more than 3-4 fronts in Somalia against the terrorist groups. And the Somali National Army is expanding every day the territory that the government controls. So losing the war is not the right expression. We are winning. We are winning the war in general. And we are not fighting the terrorists means of military only. There are multiple fronts we are fighting with them.
And will Israel's presence in Somaliland provide an opportunity for al-Shabaab, which is trying to recruit more fighters?
It's absolutely true. This is now the claim, the main claim that al-Shabaab was claiming was that they are defending foreigners that attacked Somalia. All the international community or the international relations that Somalia has outside, they assume and they claim that this is a foreign attack. So now Israel added into the equation that will give them a breeding ground for recruitment, for getting more financial support, and for getting more and more even political support within the Somali community, particularly those communities who are living in the rural area. So it is an opportunity for al-Shabaab the recognition of Israel to part of Somalia.
President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, thank you so much for your time and for joining Al Arabiya English today.